What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak, and we got Dean back on the show. Dean, another college football playoff episode. Excited to talk some football with you. Good to have you back.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be back with you again, Alex. Enjoy it very much. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're in high swing now.
absolutely. So we got some games to, recap, some playoff games that we all got to witness, and this will be our round two preview, but Uncle Dean, we want to say happy birthday. And you got a nice birthday present. You were able to go to that Notre Dame Indiana playoff game. What was that like?
Well, that was absolutely amazing. The gifts came from the family. I the bucket list included the game going to a game up there, but I didn't expect it to be this one.
Yeah.
This was far beyond just a bucket list. It was an awesome experience. Um, Seeing the whole thing live, even
Yeah.
though cold, it was actually tolerable. I didn't really get that cold,
hmm
but it was a great experience.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. I mean, I came to met up with you guys at the tailgate. Got to see, my cousin Desiree and her family and stuff, and um, we got to see what college game day. You see Desmond Howard and Nick Saban and Pat McAfee and Kirk Herbstreit and all those guys. And then, you guys got to go to the game. And yeah, it wasn't too cold. It was nice and cold, but not too cold. It was bearable, right?
Yeah, for that time of December, you sometimes you can get a disaster as far as weather goes. But
Yeah, it was snowing like crazy the night before the game too.
yeah, it snowed before. Yeah, it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting if it snowed during the game, but I liked it. The way it was turned out fine.
Yeah, and I think the outcome of the game helped warm everybody up too. As Notre Dame, at first. So, what were your thoughts watching this game? At first, we had an exchange of interceptions early, and a 0-0, back and forth, waiting to see who was going to break out, and then Jeremiah Love breaks out literally a 98-yard touchdown run. The stadium had to be super loud when that play erupted, huh?
Yeah, that changed the whole atmosphere when that happened. Uh,
Yeah.
I had a few Indiana fans in front of me, and they were just distraught.
Yeah.
But yeah, that started the whole thing, and I think Notre Dame realized, okay, now we got to start going.
Yep. And then Notre Dame was up big there, 27-3, nice comfortable lead. Looked like they were going to cruise easily. And Indiana, to their credit, did try to make it interesting late. What did you think? They scored that touchdown and had a 2-point conversion attempt to make it a one-score game. I believe they recovered an onside kick before that. Did you get a little nervous at the end, or?
No, not really. I thought the game was already well in hand.
Yeah.
Giving up the late points didn't really matter,
Yep.
other than they didn't need to do that. That will encourage Indiana, of course,
Yep. Yep.
but it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I don't think any of us were really all that upset.
no, especially once they didn't get, there was only like 30 seconds left when they scored that touchdown. And,
Right.
um, once they didn't get that 2-point conversion, it was like, all right, game's over now. And nice, comfortable win. Um, what are your thoughts on Marcus Freeman? Uh, it's a big playoff win, and a great opportunity coming up in the next round against Georgia. But do you think he's done a pretty good job? There was a lot of people second guessing him, replacing Brian Kelly. But do you think he's done a good enough job?
He was pretty much second guess from the moment he took the spot.
Yeah.
There was doubters, and I don't know if that's kind of the way it is with every new coach or whatever, but fans are fickle. They want results right away,
Yeah.
but I believe he's done a good job from the beginning, and
Yeah.
I think this year they were truly really focused uh, on their mission. Even though they stubbed their toe, um, I think that woke them up.
Yeah. You could easily, you stub your toe, you lose a game you're not supposed to lose uh to Northern Illinois, and it would be easy to like feel sorry for yourself or allow one loss to snowball into two or three, but they didn't and they went on a long winning streak. They haven't lost since that game.
Right. And when they did lose that game, I think a lot of people wrote them off. That
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
way they're going to make it now into the playoffs with that loss.
Yeah, especially nationally.
Right.
Yeah.
But it didn't really hurt them that much because of the way they responded.
Yep. Absolutely. So it's good to see them in the playoffs, win the home playoff game in South Bend. How are you feeling about, Georgia coming up? And, Georgia's only favored by 1.5, and Carson Beck is out. So backup quarterback Gunnar Stockton is going to start. What are your thoughts going into this battle against Georgia?
I Georgia is always tough. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't care who they play, where they play, they're going to be tough. However, they're not playing in Georgia. They're
Uh-huh.
playing away.
Yep.
So that makes a difference. Georgia just is basically unbeatable in their own state,
Yeah.
whether they're playing in their home stadium or in
Well,
Atlanta itself.
yeah, Atlanta, the SEC championship game or whatnot.
Yeah, but you get them away from their own home field advantage, and it's a different situation for them.
And
And
Notre Dame fans travel well, so I'm sure they're going to show up in the Sugar Bowl.
yeah, yeah, they will. I really think that this is a big shot for Notre Dame and a big opportunity. And I really think they'll pull it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The quarterback, as you mentioned, I mean, he's inexperienced, and if they pressure this guy, I think that's all you have to do.
Yeah. I believe this is going to be his first career start, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's a lot of pressure. That's a big load to carry. Um, I don't know. Just by looking at the matchup, I just feel Notre Dame has the personnel to do it.
yeah, Georgia they need to keep the score low. They need to be like a defensive struggle and, something like that and hope for like a defensive score or take advantage of a mistake or an opportunity like that. They definitely don't want to get into a shootout.
Uh, yeah, I don't think that will have. I don't think it'll be a shootout.
Yeah.
Uh, I think both defenses will play good,
Yep.
and it's up to the offense. But yeah, I don't know. You never know. With these games,
Yeah.
you
But
think you look at the stats, you kind of think of how it should go, but that's usually not what happens.
yeah. But this is one of the best games of the weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. Or of New Year's. Um, it should be a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, whoever wins, uh, will get the winner of Boise State and Penn State, and that's pretty favorable too. Um, my anticipation is Penn State, but let's talk about Penn State for a second. Their noon whiteout game against SMU. They jumped out to a 28 nothing halftime lead and won easily, 38-10. And really, Dean, the SMU quarterback just kind of threw this game away, in my opinion, with three first half interceptions and
Yeah.
two pick sixes. It's hard to recover from that.
Yeah, that the mistakes in a big game will always come back to haunt you. And that was more than just a couple. That was at least three
Yeah.
big. So
That was
yeah, that,
throwing the game away, and you get down 28 nothing. How are you supposed to come back from that, you know?
yeah, that's basically impossible. It can be done, but not against a defense like that.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, that was
both
over at halftime.
Yeah, both Penn State running backs did well. Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton. The linebacker Dominic DeLuca with two interceptions, and yeah,
Yeah.
the SMU quarterback just struggled. You know, all those turnovers. How are you feeling about Penn State? They got to play Boise State, and Penn State is favored by 11 in this matchup. Do you think that's too high?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I actually, I'm really concerned that they're not giving Boise State any kudos.
yeah,
If their running back can uh, play anywhere near the his capability, look out.
yep. And I think he's going to be motivated too. You know, it's multiple reasons. As a playoffs, so all eyes are on. It's not like Boise State gets a lot of, huge primetime games. So this is a great opportunity with all eyes on him for him to show out. And then on top of that, he needs 131 yards to break Barry Sanders' single season record. So I think he's going to be very motivated. Do you?
Yeah, the whole team will. I mean, they
Yeah.
all know that. They're all going to work to that. They're going to do their utmost, to get him to that place.
Yep.
I think they'll be prepared and ready to play. And I just got a feeling Penn State's looking at, well, we're playing Boise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe just take them too light.
Yeah, maybe they're looking past them and at Notre Dame, Georgia, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if Boise State jumps in there and wins that ball game.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. I think it'll be hard fought. I don't think anyone's running away with that game.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that should be another great matchup. I'm picking Penn State, um, but it wouldn't surprise me. And I think it's going to be, hard fought. And I'm picking Penn State, but I'm kind of rooting for Boise State. And I love that running back. So I don't really know much about Boise State besides the running back. But this is an opportunity for a lot of people, kind of their first look at Boise State. You know, the casual fan hasn't seen the Broncos up close.
No, they haven't. They've not been on prime time, so you
Yeah.
know, nobody knows much about them. It's like SMU, just nobody knew anything.
Uh-huh.
Kind of hard to predict what those teams would do if you don't see them. But I've seen enough, though. Boise State, they're for real.
Yep.
And again, I think they got a shot at this game.
And this is the opportunity Boise State's been waiting for. If you remember that shocking upset of Oklahoma with the Statue of Liberty play and all that back in the day, and
With
they
the
never got a
Texas,
shot. They never got a shot at the Natty. Hey, if you win this, you're in the Final Four. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So it'll be
Yeah,
fun. I can't wait for these games.
it
Um,
will be an embarrassment to Penn State though if they lose.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're a Big Ten, big shot team, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so you should be able to knock them off and go on. But man, they they better take them serious.
Yeah. Yeah. um, yeah, so that's going to be very interesting in that matchup. Um, How about Clemson, Texas was an interesting game. Clemson jumps out to a 7-0 lead. Texas goes crazy in the second quarter, leads 28-10 at halftime. They win 38-24, but the Texas defense really stepped up in the fourth quarter. They had a goal line stand, forced another turnover on downs to really seal the game. But Clemson, to their credit, I thought fought better than some people expected. Do you agree with that?
Uh, you, Clemson's always been, well, not always, but in the last few years, they've been a team to reckon with.
Yeah,
You know, I didn't think that they were going to get blown away.
yeah.
Um, I think they were outmatched,
Hmm.
but Clemson's a good team. They're well coached. They know what they're doing. They've been in big games. I'm not surprised they played them tough, but I would have been still surprised if they'd have beat Texas.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um,
So
yeah, but tech, the big thing, the big glaring thing that jumps off the screen to me is Texas running backs accounted for 4 touchdowns, and between Jaden Blue and Quintravian Wisner, I mean that's like 290 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. On the other
yeah,
side, Clemson couldn't run the ball at all. It was all one-sided passing.
yes, yeah,
So
yeah. That's really true. The running game normally wins the ball game.
yeah,
In the Notre Dame game, that's what won the ball game was basically the running game.
yep,
And the
same,
Penn State game, it
yep,
was a running game.
yeah.
So the
That
same thing with Texas. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the issue with Penn State, Boise State too. Is you let that running back get going, and
yeah.
you could be in trouble.
The running game will beat you.
Yeah, yep. Um, but yeah, and so Texas advances. They're going to be playing Arizona State in the Peach Bowl, and the Texas Longhorns are favored by 13. That's a huge number. What do you think of that?
Oh well, I think that's expected.
Yeah.
Again, Arizona came out of the blue. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't expected to do anything this year. Surprised everybody. But again, here you go. You got a super running back.
Yep.
Uh, Scatterbo was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's similar to Boise State. You got to worry about that running back. You
Yep.
got to stop him, or you're going to be in trouble.
Do you
And
know what do you know about Sam Levitt? Do you know much about him, the Arizona State's freshman quarterback?
no, I really don't.
Yeah. But I
Uh,
knew I know that they're missing their top wide receiver, Jordan Tyson.
yeah,
So that doesn't help. I think that puts more pressure on Cam Scatterbo.
yeah.
Uh, I think I don't see a scenario where Arizona State pulls off the win. I think Texas, it might not be a blowout like they expect, but I don't see a scenario where Arizona State beats them.
I agree with you there, Alex. A lot of things happen at times, but that would be just unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, I think Texas will win this,
Yeah.
even though you're mocking the 14 points or whatever. That's very possible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it could end up being not enough, right?
Yeah, it could. It could be.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool. I mean, you're a college football historian. It's cool to see Texas back and in the hunt and championship contenders, right? It's going to be interesting to see how they perform here down the stretch.
Yeah, well, they're well coached again. They're a good unit. They've proven themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they'll do just fine. It's going to be interesting to see how much each of the quarterbacks play in this game.
Yeah.
Um, Evers, I'm sure, will start, but I don't. I can see him getting jerked out of the game if he doesn't do well, and you put Manning in there.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
mean, either way, they're in good shape in that position. So
Yeah. Um, America would love to see Manning in a playoff game. I know that.
yeah, I think he'll get time. Um,
Yeah. Yep. Um, and then were you surprised at all? Ohio State, Tennessee wasn't very competitive at all in Columbus. 21-0 early, and Ohio State wins 42-17. Are you surprised Tennessee wasn't more competitive in that one?
yeah, I thought they'd be more competitive, but this is an SEC team that wasn't really that respected.
Yeah.
Really, there's several other teams that the SEC would have said, "Hey, put them in there instead."
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean they're down the list, 4 or 5 down the list.
Yeah.
So um, that wasn't the top SEC team playing one of the top Big Ten teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it should have been one-sided, but that was a big blowout. What that was.
Do you feel like Ohio State is starting to hit their stride? They seem to be starting to play, you know, championship level football, and at the right time, they've got a huge game against Oregon coming up. But the most shocking thing to me is that Ohio State's favored in this game, right?
Yes.
That's eye opening.
Uh, well, they played them Oregon close the last time, 1 point. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
well, they could have easily won that game.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I've not seen enough of Oregon to say that they're number one.
Yeah. Well, they're
Honestly,
undefeated.
they're undefeated. Yeah, they are undefeated. You got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
Well, but when I say they're number one, they're not elite above everybody else.
Yeah.
They're very good, and they are going to be a hard team to beat.
Yep.
But Ohio State can do it.
Yeah. And
So
oftentimes when you get a rematch,
yeah,
the other team gets revenge, you make adjustments.
yeah. The old
And
saying, it's hard to beat the same team twice. If they're well
yeah,
managed. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
So I agree. Actually, I think Ohio State will prevail.
I do too. I'm picking Ohio State as well. I'm surprised that they're favored because I would think it would be the upset, but I believe it. I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, yeah, Ohio State's going to get them this time."
Yeah, yeah,
So, and I think that's the best game of these four: Ohio State, Oregon. I think that's going to be awesome.
yeah. That's a toss up. It really is. You could go either way, and be pretty assured that you're going to win. You know, really. I mean, but I just think Ohio State has the overall better team.
Okay, their defense is playing a lot better lately too, huh?
Yeah, and they got a couple of very good wide receivers. You
Yep,
know, I'm not sure that Howard is all that great of a quarterback, but he's doing a good job.
yep.
But you get a good quarterback and great receivers, that's pretty potent.
And you got two great running backs as well. Travion Henderson had a big
Yeah,
game. Quinshot Judkins.
yeah,
I mean, again, watching Ohio State in the playoffs just reiterates how shocking it was their performance against Michigan, right?
yes, yeah. That's still that's inexplainable.
Yeah.
How do you even put that into any kind of reason? You can't. That
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. It just did. But
But
they ran again. Their overall yardage was well over Tennessee,
yeah,
but Tennessee is not. Oregon.
Yes.
So um, it, they're not going to be performing that high,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's a toss up. It's going to be a great ball game.
Yeah. And a lot of eyes on the quarterback matchup, Will Howard against Dylan Gabriel. You know, a
Yeah,
great opportunity for Will Howard. There are question marks about him. You go into this game in the Rose Bowl against Oregon and perform well and get the win, that'll open a lot of eyes.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is what we love, though. This is what the playoffs give you: is these opportunities, these big games with the bright lights on you, and how do you perform? It's a great opportunity for these young kids.
absolutely. Yeah, it's nice to have the expansion of games so that you're not losing so many kids from playing in the bowl games.
Yeah,
A couple of these bowl games wouldn't mean much if if they were last year.
yeah, yeah. You'd have players sitting out.
Yeah, sitting out or just long gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
or even
So
transferred already. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So all right, yeah. You've made some of your picks. So you got Notre Dame over Georgia. So Georgia is 3-0 all time against Notre Dame, but every game has been decided by 7 points or less. So they've all been hard fought. I expect this one again to be hard fought, single digits, come down to the wire. Uh, I haven't seen the young quarterback. I'm picking Georgia, but barely. But I'm with you on that. I believe Notre Dame can win this. The no Carson Beck really opens the door for Georgia to be more beatable now than normal, right?
Well, Georgia is beatable. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been proven.
Yep.
Okay. So it's by foes that they're familiar with, but
Yeah.
still they can be beaten. And
Well,
Notre Dame has the guys to do it.
yeah, someone said that it's easy to fall in love with the brand of Georgia and who they used to be a couple of years ago when they were trying to three-peat,
Right.
and they might not be as good as that team was a couple of years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they are. Right.
yeah. So great opportunity. This is really the big opportunity for Notre Dame. If you can beat Georgia in this stage, that is a huge win for Notre Dame, and that could propel them into the national championship game. You know, a win like that
Absolutely.
would have everyone believing and buying in.
Absolutely. It would do an enormous amount for the brand. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
they have been close but no banana for so many years,
yeah,
and a big win like this would really catapult their brand and I think draw in some even more talented people.
yeah.
It would be huge, I think.
No one will be criticizing Marcus Freeman if he can beat Kirby Smart in a big bowl game.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
Yeah. How about Penn State, Boise State? Are you picking? Are you gonna pick Boise State, or how are you feeling?
Um, only because I have always somewhat had a likeness, kind of been drawn to Boise ever since the Oklahoma thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've always kind of liked the blue turf and everything about Boise is interesting.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm foolishly I'm going to say I'm going to take Boise State to win this game outright.
All right. That's a great matchup. I'm the same way. I like Boise State a lot. Um, I wish they were playing on the blue field in this game. I would love like the blue field with some snow falling.
That'd be great. Yes.
But So I'm gonna take Penn State, but I'm gonna pick Penn State, but I think I'm rooting for Boise State, and I think it's gonna be a great matchup. I think Penn State makes for the better matchup in the Orange Bowl, so I think that's why I'm gonna pick them. But I like Ashton Genty a lot, their star running back. So this is kind of a game I'm gonna sit back and like not really be rooting for either team, just enjoy the game, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'll be cheering for
for the
the boys
Broncos.
the boys in blue. Yeah,
Nice. All right. So then that could set up. That would be Notre Dame, Boise State. That'd be crazy. Um, we both are gonna take Texas over Arizona State. I think we're pretty confident in that one.
yeah. I
And
agree with
and
that.
and then are you gonna take Ohio State over Oregon? I think. Did you say that?
Yeah. No, I didn't say that. I,
Okay.
I said it was a toss up.
Yeah.
Um, the only reason I'm going to say this is because of last year uh, when Oregon had Nix as their quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Bo Nix played for Auburn for a few years, and he was great, but he didn't have any help around him.
Yep.
And there's a lot of negative talk about him here in this area.
Okay.
I could never figure out. I mean, you guys don't realize you got a great talent here, but you're not supporting him, and you don't understand football, evidently. You know?
Yeah. Throwing the quarterback under the bus, and there's no help
Yeah,
around him. Yeah.
yeah. So then he goes on to Oregon, and he's Superman.
Yep.
And
On, on top of that, he's doing great as a rookie in the NFL too.
absolutely, you see the talent there, don't you?
Yeah.
It's so
Yep.
obvious. So
Yeah.
I have kind of liked Oregon the last couple of years because of that. Uh,
Okay.
prior to that, I hated Oregon.
Go back to the Dennis Dixon, Joey Harrington days.
Yes, but um, I'm actually gonna I'm pulling for Oregon, even though it's not good for the Big Ten to have uh, a stranger come in and take over.
Yeah.
Um, basically, I'm just trying to tell you I don't like Ohio State
Yeah. Yep. No,
as a Michigan fan.
yeah.
You know,
um,
being born and raised in Michigan, it's hard to like Ohio State.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so,
I don't like Ohio State either, but I'm the same as you, except for I still have a little bit of that Oregon. I don't know if it's dislike or distrust, like,
yeah,
and I can remember when they had Marcus Mariota, they get to the national
yeah,
championship game and they seem to
yeah,
come up just short.
yep,
So I believe I like the way Ohio State played against Tennessee. That's what they're capable of. I'm riding with Ohio State here, and I think that could set up, regardless of who wins this game, Texas Ohio State or Texas Oregon is going to be an awesome Cotton Bowl game.
yeah,
Um,
yes,
but I'm going to give Ohio. I think it's going to be hard fought. Oregon won by 1 point in Eugene. I'm going to pick Ohio State to win by 1 point in the Rose Bowl and set up Ohio State, Texas.
yeah. And, I can't dispute that. I mean, common sense says that Ohio State should win this game. I think they got the more talented overall roster.
Hmm.
They should win this game.
Yeah.
Um, and if I had any common sense, I'd do the same thing.
Well, I mean, no one likes to root for Ohio State. I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but I'll be sitting there pulling for the Oregon Ducks.
Nice. Well, man, it's gonna be a fun 4 games, and This is the first ever, 12-team playoff, and that some people were criticizing it, whatever, but I think I think the second round is going to be a lot better than the first round. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think even the Arizona State game might surprise us.
Yeah,
Uh, you
maybe
know,
Texas is looking past them a little bit.
very possible, isn't that? That's very, very possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, it's going to be four good contests. I think I'm looking forward to watching each one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to start out on New Year's Eve, 7:30 p.m. Penn State, Boise State, and then three games on New Year's Day. So, looking forward to it. We're going to ring in 2025 with a bang, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to keep doing this step by step to the playoffs. We're going to come back for round three and the final four, and do an episode on that and break down the quarterfinal game. So it's a
All
lot of
right.
fun doing these episodes again with you, Dean.
Yeah, I enjoy it very much, Alex. This is my sport. I love college football.
Yeah.
Uh, it's exciting. The season with uh, the whole season with college football, every game is so meaningful.
Yep.
You got to be. You can't lose a ball game,
Yeah.
uh, or you could completely be out of it. You know, and it's
Yeah.
like every game is like a playoff game,
Yeah.
and I just love that about college football.
Yeah.
And with this expansion of possibilities of teams getting in, qualifying, just expands that even more. And it's been a
Absolutely.
great year.
Yeah. Yeah, you can conference realign and get the NIL and the transfer portal. You can do all the changes you want, but at the end of the day, college football is still going to be amazing, and everyone's going to love to watch the football. So we're here and we're watching.
We are, yep, for sure.
So great to have you on, Dean, and enjoy the football games. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and look forward to talking with you again, preparing for the Final Four, Dean. So enjoy these games, and I'll be texting you watching these games.
All right, I'll be looking for them.
Thanks, guys. Have a great New Year's, and we'll catch you later. Peace out.